Help. Somebody call Dr. Robert. I think Alex is choking on a walrus. Just a day in the life of the final wager. Well, thanks to Alex, I now have a strong craving to watch The Simpsons tonight. Donuts. Yeah, you really shouldn't do that. Anyway, let's see how Jared was doing. Well, Jared must have heard me because he made it a close game, losing to Parth by 3,600. Hillary's still in it with 4,800. And the category, Classic Albums. I gotta say, I love this album. Starting with Hillary, she was deemed correct, wagered 2,400, and finished with 7,200. Over to our returning champion Jared, who also got it right, gave the full title of the album, might I add, and wagered everything to go up to 20,000. Then over to Parth, who gave a much earlier album, although similarly suggestive, I would say, and finished $1 behind Hillary. Now, if you're a renowned expert on your Final Jeopardy topic, then sure, go ahead, go all in. But I have two good reasons why Jared shouldn't have bet everything on classic albums. Sonny Bono and Dean Martin. But hey, after playing a bunch of games, you can get bored, and he'd probably just eaten lunch, because you typically eat lunch after the third game, and maybe he was feeling a little sick after eating some tuna. I don't know. He might have also thought that Parth was going to wager nothing, because maybe classic albums wasn't his thing. Who knows? Anyway, let's look at the numbers. If Jared goes all in, gets it right, he'll have 20,000. Parth would need to wager at least 6,400 to cover this. Rule number 2. If Parth gets it wrong, he'll have 7,200. So Jared, to stay above that, would need to wager no more than 2,800. Rule number 3 is pretty easy to see. There's a $3,600 difference between the two of them. So Jared would have to wager at least 3,600, which doesn't work with his maximum wager of 2,800. Now let's look at what he should do against Hillary. If Hillary goes all in and gets it right, she'll have 9,600. That means to stay at or above that total, Jared can wager no more than 400. So that usurps that old maximum wager. Now Jared, if you're out there and listening, I'd love to know why you wager 10,000. I don't personally have a problem with it, but the math doesn't work out. Hillary, you made a great wager. 2,400 was the minimum you could do, and you clearly thought through the math. Parth, not so great. That extra dollar could have cost you big time. And here's why. If Jared had gotten it wrong, he would have had 0, and you would have lost by $1. Better to hold on to it and risk the tie with Jared, because it could save you on the other end. I also want to touch briefly on why Sgt. Pepper was deemed acceptable when Zelda a few months ago wasn't. I don't get it. That's not the name of the album. You should know the full name of the album. Just because people are lazy and want to have a shorthand name doesn't mean that it's acceptable on Jeopardy. That's just my thought. Anyway, Jared's got 6 wins in the bag now, and he granted my wish of giving us a close scenario. Let's see what he does tomorrow. And we'll take it apart on the final wager. See you then.